Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, Book 4, Entry 44. All that happens is as natural and familiar as a rose in spring or a fruit in summer. Such are disease and death, treachery, and all else that gives fools joy or sorrow. As a bona fide intellectual, I like to read literature, and when parsing through the ancient manuscripts, as I usually do, I found this particular entry written by the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius to go really hard, so I wrote it down in my notes app. Later on, I was having a deep philosophical discussion, as I usually do, with my homie Jarquanzular. I said that I was dipping my scrotum into the pool of Stoicism, and I read out this quote. He didn't really seem to vibe with it that much. He kind of sarcastically was like, "Oh, what fools for feeling sorrow, mourning, disease, and death." I didn't really know what to say in response because I still thought that what I read out went hard. I just couldn't really articulate why in defense. So I just walked right up to him and tenderly kissed his soft lips, as I do to anybody when I lose an argument. I still really resonate with the words of Marcus Aurelius though, and after getting some post-nut clarity and thinking it through, it's clear this is not some immature reduction of the value of life or something like that. Marcus is just telling it how it is. In my opinion, this is the rawest thing I've ever read. All of these things that we would label as being bad are inevitable, natural occurrences, as familiar as a rose in spring. You could say these things are positive or negative, but in reality, they just are. Dominance, power, violence, death, sickness, shit, piss. These are all unstoppable forces of nature. They're here to stay, and they don't give a fuck about you. In this way, labeling these things and having them pull you around emotionally is quite goofy. What if I told you that being a little hoe about something, about anything, doesn't help anybody? There are things that you can control and things that you can't. Fix what you can, and then you have to accept what you can't control. Otherwise, it's just insanity. What this meditation is saying, if you really put it straight up, is if something bad happens and you feel good or bad about it, you're a dumbass. And it may seem a little bit wacky, but I agree with this statement. It could be painted as toxic masculinity. You know, don't reject your emotions, but emotions aren't real. You just made it up. You're not neglecting your emotions. You're just not letting them either get in the way of fixing a situation when it can be fixed, or getting in the way of your well-being when it can't be fixed. That's really all it boils down to. Do something about it or don't. If you can't do anything about it, then accept it. It is what it is. Don't make yourself miserable for no reason. And you can always come up with some logical extremes. What if you're forced to eat your own child? What if your grandma starts throwing it back so hard that she fucking dies? Would you be all stoic then? What if a genius scientist turned himself into a pickle? Would you be able to be all...